Hello guys and welcome back to Planet 40k. It's been a hot minute since I've done any unit reviews, so I thought I'd go over the Doomsday Ark today. Now we're not going to do a full unit review, not going through the entire data card, but what I will be doing in this video is going through a bit of Mathhammer, particularly for the Doomsday Cannon. So yeah, we're going to go through some numbers, going up against different toughness groups and so on. Before we do guys, if you have yet to subscribe, please do so down below. And thank you in advance. Right, let's get into it. So firstly, we need to sort of get on the same page with the Doomsday Cannon. In fact, before we do that, we've got the Gorse Flayers as well to discuss. They're a nice bonus. That's not the main part of this video though. I mean, they're 24 inches. They will chip off some wounds and you don't have to fire it at the same target as the cannon. If they're within 12 inches, you get that rapid fire as well, which is pretty good. Really, it is about that Doomsday Cannon. So let's have a look at it. Let's have a little look at this cannon then. So it has got blast and heavy. So for every 5 models, you're going to get an extra attack. And if you're staying stationary, you're going to get a +1 to the hit roll. 72-inch range, which is beautiful. You can virtually see everything on a standard game of 40k. D6 +1 attacks. Don't forget you've got blast in there. If you go up against 10 models, that's an extra 2, so it would be D6 +3 and so on. Hitting on 3s, unless you're staying still, then it will be hitting on 2s with heavy. Strength 18, which is beautiful. It wounds most things on 2s or 3s on the bigger stuff. -4 on the AP and damage 4. Straight flat 4. Bang. Now there is an ability that is associated with this weapon, so we should input this now. Overwhelming Obliteration. If you do stay still, dead wounds. Just get dead wounds. So if you do roll that 6 to wound, there's no invulnerable save, which is pretty handy against stuff that has invuln saves. So yeah, there's clear benefits to staying stationary. You might not always have that line of sight though, so if you need to move, you move, but you lose those 2 bonuses. And we're going to kind of do the maths now on a few different, well, all the toughness groups, a few different selected units and targets, and I'm going to show you the difference between staying stationary and moving. So let's go to the first toughness groups. We've got toughness 3 and toughness 4. So I've got some Termagants here that are 5+ armor save with 1 wound, and some Space Marines at toughness 4, 3+ armor save and 2 wounds. Let's start with those Termagants. If you've got 20 in a unit, that means you're going to get an extra 4 attacks with the blast weapon. You can expect on average when you move 5 to die. That's not including the Gorse Flare raise. This is purely the Doomsday Cannon. 5 will die, blast does help. And 6 when you're staying still. You get in a +1 to the hit roll. Dead wounds doesn't really matter because the AP is good enough. Not the ideal target, but you still remove 5 or 6. Going up against some Space Marine Intercessors, we're going to go in a group of 5 here because a lot of people take them in 5s. Little objective scoring with OC2. So you're only going to get a +1 with the blast ability. You're going to kill 3 if you move, and you're going to kill 4 if you stay stationary. Again, not the most ideal target, but you're still looking at like 60 to 80 points of removed models there. Let's push this up to toughness 5 and toughness 6. We've got a Chaos Terminator and some Orc Meganobs. So those Terminators are toughness 5 with a 2+ armor and 4+ invulnerable save and 3 wounds a pop. Whereas the Meganobs are toughness 6, 2+ armor save and 3 wounds again. Right, so Terminators, I've gone with 10 here because some people do take them in a big cluster of 10, deep strike them in, massive melee threat. So you're going to get an extra 2 for the blast there. So when you're going against these Terminators, you kill 2 when you move, 3 when you stay still. So the reason being is that 4+ invulnerable save wipes out half of the wounds that have gone through, unless they are devastating wounds. 3 Terminators, that's not bad though. I mean, Terminators are quite expensive, and removing 2 or 3 of them is okay. The Meganobs, you can take them in a unit of 6. I've only seen them in 6s. Maybe they do come in 3s. Maybe my local meta is just 6s. I don't know. But when you've got 6s, you can expect 2 or 3 when you move your arc, 3 or 4 when stationary. Again, that's not too bad. 3 models is 120 points. 120 to 160 points of Meganobs in one lot of shooting from that cannon. Not bad at all. Pushing up the toughness groups even further with toughness 7 and toughness 8. I've got some Wraithguard and I've got some Plague Drones from the Chaos Demons. So yeah, the Wraithguard I've got 2+ armor, no invuln though, 3 wounds. And those Plague Drones I've got toughness 8 with a 6+ armor but a 5+ invulnerable save and 5 wounds a pop. Wraithguard, you can take them in 10, so you get 2 extra for the blast. Again, it's similar sort of numbers here. 3 when you move, and 4 when you stay stationary, because you get the dead wounds and the +1 to hit and so on. I mean, Wraithguard for a unit of 5 is 190 points. So sort of similar numbers to the Mega Knobs there. And then when you go into the Plague Drones, you can take 6 of them. So you get 1 extra for the blast with that. 1 if you move, 2 if you stay still. Plague Drones, I think, are quite expensive. I'm going to double check the Plague Drone prices as well. Plague Drones 3 is 110, so not actually as expensive as I thought, you know. That's quite cheap. That's really cheap. So yeah, they're not really an ideal target for what we're doing, because you're not even, what you're doing, approximately 80 points or whatever that is. That's not a lot at all, is it? That's not a lot at all. Let's move into Toughness 9 and Toughness 10. So the Carnifex is a Toughness 9 with the 2+ armor, 8 wounds. And then you've got the Vortex Beast, which is Toughness 10, 4+ armor, 5+ invulnerable save, and a 5+ feel no pain save. So that gets a bit more trickier with 13 wounds as well. So let's go back to those Carnifexes. We can get 2 in a unit. You kill 1 when you move, and a bit more than 1 if you stay still. You don't quite kill 1 because they've got a fair amount of wounds, 8 wounds. You're not going to kill a second one, but you'll do a bit of extra damage on the second one if you like. Yeah, I mean, Carnifexes are 125 even. So if you can kill one of those, it's okay, it's reasonable. Kill a bit more, not too bad. And the Mortrex Beast, or Vortex Beast, what's it called? Mortrex or Vortex? Or Vortex. It is called a Mutalith Vortex Beast. 150 points though, that's quite cheap as well. So what are we doing to the Vortex Beast? 4 or 5 damage when you move, 6 damage when you're still. You're not killing one. It's mainly those feel no pain saves that come in clutch. A third of the dice just go out the way. And there's also the invuln save to compete with as well on top of that, which was a 5+. So a third of the dice go on the invuln, a third of the dice go on the feel no pain save. Yeah, you're not even really doing what you're doing. A third of it, it's about 50 points or so. Not an ideal target at all, really. So from these figures, it seems like a nice option to go up, particularly against monsters and vehicles. Not so much that Chaos one at the end there, the Vortex Beast, the Thousand Suns one, it's a little bit too much. Invulnerable saves in general and feel no pain saves in general are of course going to hinder what a Doomsday Ark can actually do. The devastating wounds part of the weapon does assist with going through the invuln saves, but yeah, feel no pain saves you can't really stop. Now what you need to remember is you've got those Gorse Flare arrays on the side, which you can use to chip off wounds, and in some situations it might be better to fire those weapons first. It's quite ideal going up against a model that's got like 5 or 6 wounds, because if you chop off a couple of wounds before you even get to the cannon, and they've only got 4 wounds remaining, then it only takes 1 attack from the Doomsday Cannon to remove that model. Whereas if you've started with the cannon and not the Gorse Flare arrays, it's going to take 2 attacks that go through the armor to take away that model. So even though there's 8 damage going through, if the model's only got 5 or 6 wounds to begin with, it's kind of a waste. So chip away first with the Gorse Flayers in those kind of situations. Most of the time it won't matter too much, but you can sort of assess it before you actually fire. What we need to remember though with Doomsday Arks is they're 200 points. That's not expensive. It's not cheap either, don't get me wrong, it's not either. But if you say go up against Tyranids and you kill a Carnifex, and that's 125 points, and you move to do so, so therefore you didn't do any more damage on the second Carnifex. You kill one Carnifex outright and use those Gorse Flare arrays to maybe chip away against 3 or 4 Gaunts on the side. So you took off like another 24, 25 points or so, or whatever. You've just done 150 points of damage in a single shooting phase. You've got 4 more to go. So you've actually just redeemed 75% of your Doomsday Ark's points cost back in a single turn of shooting. And they've still got to deal with your Doomsday Ark on top of that with the OC5 and, you know, the high toughness, the invuln save and all that jazz. So I think it's worth it. I think they're pretty good and they're quite high up in my estimations for best units in the Codex. I've got an itchy nose again. I thought hay fever season's gone. Do I rate them better than Locust Heavy Destroyers? You know what? At the minute, I'm sort of on the fence with them. I've been tinkering around with both and I kind of like them both equally. They've got slightly different roles, but at the moment I've been playing Doomsday Arks and I quite like them. So yeah, that's what we've got today. We've got a few figures for you. Main reasons to be using them. Would I be firing them against Gaunts, Intercessors? Probably not. Terminators? Maybe. Your sort of lighter stuff, like your heavier infantry or your lighter vehicles, that sort of toughness 8, toughness 9, then yeah, because you're still wounded on 2s, and your other weapons aren't going to be doing it, like, for example, your Locust Destroyers with their Gauss Blasters. They're not going to be doing it with Strength 5. They might do a bit of work, don't get me wrong, but there's better targets for them to deal with. They can be taking out the Intercessors, or they can be taking out the Gaunts, or whatever else that's nearby. Let the Doomsday Ark take out those lighter vehicles, and if you have to go against the big stuff, go for it. In some games, they don't have invulnerable saves, they don't have feel no pain saves. The example we used wasn't the most ideal for them with the Vortex Beast because of that feel no pain save, but in other situations, you go up against a Redemptor Dreadnought, you just murder it. It's a gunner. It's got no invulnerable save, no feel no pain save. So yeah, it all depends on the matchup. It all depends on the unit. Try to avoid feel no pain saves. Try to avoid invuln saves, and then you're golden. If you have to go for them, you go for them. Guys, that's all from me today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.